Hi, my name's Alex and I'm with Revolution Yacht Experience. In this short instructional video, I would like to take you inside this Brabus Shadow 900. However, this video will be also relevant for all the Axopars. We're going to look at the Simrad displays and we're going to look at some basic navigation techniques and how to set routes on your Simrad display. So come inside and we'll take a look. So here we are inside the Brabus Shadow 900. We've chosen to do our demo in here. For all intents and purposes, the screens are the same between the Brabus Shadow series and the standard Axopar boats. So they all the current models use these Simrad displays. And we're going to go through some of the basic navigation features, how to set some waypoints and how to set routes and navigate to where you need to be. So without further ado, we'll get right into the screens and I'll show you how that's done. Okay, so when you first get on board your vessel, as always, you will need to start by making sure all your power is on. As is with all the new model boats, down here we have these sliding switches here, and you will need to put on your service battery, of course, and then you put your port and your starboard switches on as well, port and starboard batteries, assuming you have two engines. If it's just one engine, just one switch, and then putting your ignition keys into the ignitions and then turning to the on position will turn on the displays. Generally, there's a little bit of a boot up sequence and a boot up period, so you just need to be patient and let that work. Here's a display over here that will show you, some things to accept. Basically, you just go ahead and accept the conditions here, and then it brings up one of the displays. The default page is this page here. However, it will boot up and show you the last screen that was shown on that particular display before you shut it down. However, at any time, you can simply go home. Let's just say we started on our chart. This button up the top left-hand corner, these 9 dots, it's essentially our main menu screen to where we would like to begin. So we're going to talk about charts and courses. So let's hit our chart. And then here we are with our map up. There's a few different chart card options available. These ones are equipped with the CMAP cards, which is a brand that Simrad owns. So, we find these ones work pretty good. However, Navionics chart cards will work in these displays as well. If you are curious what chart card you're running, or if you need to choose what chart card you want to use, there is an option to do that, and I'll show you that right now. So once we are on the chart area, we need to make sure the orange box is actually over the top of the chart itself. So this is our active zone. The active zone will have a menu available to it. You'll see if we're in this one and we pull this out, it's actually irrelevant to our chart. So just make sure that orange square is always around the chart when you want to pull out your side menu. So here you'll see the side menu pull out, and you do have a more options-ish button there, and you have a chart source, and right now it's set to CMAP. However, if you do have, let's say, a Navionics chart chip in there, you can just go ahead and select it. If I select it now, it will bring up Navionics, but there is no Navionics chip in the machine, so it doesn't show you any detail. Okay, so something else that you're going to see when you first log in or boot up your chart is you'll see your current location. It's usually always denoted by a little picture of your boat. So here we are right here in the marina. You may see a lot of other what look like boats sitting around the place. These things are actually vessels that are being picked up by the AIS system. So this one is fitted with AIS, so it will give the location of other boats that are giving their position out. So that's what all these other little boats are on the screen. So you can zoom in and out simply just by hitting these plus and minus buttons. And you can also pinch to zoom as well. Okay. So when we're looking at our chart, you'll notice that you'll have these contour lines and there's a degree of detail that is visible. So if you go back into our menu and we go to our more options, we do actually have under chart options, we have chart detail. Right now it's set to full, but this is what a low chart detail setting would look like. And this is the difference between it. It may be something that you could drop down if you feel your chart is too cluttered. It may give you a slight boost in performance depending on the model of screen that you're running. Different models of Simrad displays will have different processing power, and that may just be one way to speed it up a little bit. But right now we're going to go with full detail, and we're going to go back to our main screen, and we're going to talk about how to set a course. Okay, so we're going to set a course. We're going to make it a very simple course to set, and we're just going to go through the motions right there. There's a couple of different ways to get there, and we'll talk about both of those different ways. So the first thing you could do is simply just select any area on the screen and then press your side button here, and that will come out and give you these options here. The one we want to go to is new, and then we can either just make one single waypoint. It's important to note a waypoint is simply just one place on the screen that you can use in other routes. You can actually utilize the same waypoint in multiple routes if you like, but let's just concentrate on making a brand new route, which would be the new route button. So once we have that set up, I'm in the route making mode. It does say edit route at the top. So this is how we know, and there'll be a little save button down here. So this is how we are aware that we're in a route making situation. So just touch anywhere on the screen and that will give you your first starting point. That's the beginning of our route. And let's just say we would like to go all the way around here. And then in our case, we will set ourselves a small route to go from Cole Harbour around to English Bay. And then we can hit the save button right here. We can give it a name. And we can say CHM, Cole Harbour Marina to, to English Bay. In this case, it does actually seem to limit the amount of characters we can put in here. So we'll just leave it as English B for now, but yeah, be aware that you can only have a limited number of characters in the name. So we hit our enter button there, and then we have this route saved. Okay, so now we've created the route. It's on our screen and you can see it here. It's no longer green, it's black, which means it's properly saved in there. And you'll see we have our cursor just off here in no man's land. We pull out our side menu, it doesn't really tell you much other than the same options we had before to create new things and clear cursors and things of that nature. However, we want to initiate this course. So if you put your cursor on top of, let's say, the first waypoint, it's given a default name of RPT 001. Now the cursor is on top of that area. We can pull out our side menu and we actually have our route. It's found it. Say, oh, okay, this is part of a larger route. So we can go into here and we can say start from RPT 001, which was what that waypoint was called. And away we go, forward or reverse. So we know that it starts here and runs this way. So we're going to take it in forward. Would you like to start the Mercury autopilot? Right now, I'm just going to say no thanks. This vessel is equipped with the ability to have autopilot, as it is a JPO, or joystick piloting outboard, but not every vessel is going to be equipped with that, and it won't always ask you that. So you'll see here, now that we can zoom in a little bit, this is actually where we need to go, this red line, to begin the route. And once we reach this waypoint, it will tell you things on the screen there. You'll reach the first waypoint, you'll need to change course and head to the next waypoint. And you will reach the end of the waypoint, in which case the screen will let you know that you've safely navigated your way there. It is really important to note that these things that we do on these screens, as far as helping to navigate our way around, you really do need to make sure that you bring in a high degree of responsibility with you as well. You can't fully rely on these screens to do all the thinking for you. You do need to keep a watch and a lookout. Even if you have autopilot and all that kind of stuff, someone needs to be at the helm looking out at all times. You may have a route that maybe you didn't set up, or it was an automatic routing system that's taking you through some potentially dangerous waters or waterways. So just make sure that you're aware of your surroundings at all time, and you're not fully relying on a map to tell you exactly where to go and which way to go. You will need to make sure that you are in full control and take full responsibility for keeping the vessel safe and following the rules of the road in your local area. Okay, so we do have this waypoint selected, as we showed you before, and it is telling us that we are going to follow this route. And that's all fine and good, but if we changed our minds and then maybe we don't want to do it anymore and we want to get back to normal map usage. So you can see it is selected here, like it's all orange and there's a red line telling us where to go to begin. We can pull out our side menu here and you're going to get this screen here, but there's going to be a new one called navigation, which wasn't there before. So if you just hit the navigation button, you can actually just cancel, and you'll see that it actually takes the route navigation away and it's back to its normal screen, in which case you can use your maps again as normal. Now, in the beginning of the video, we did discuss that there was more than one way to set up a new route, and the first way was directly on the map, and the second way is through a series of menus. For some people, they may prefer it that way. I know I kind of like doing that, but it's personal preference, and either way will get you over the line. So to do the second way through the menu system is back to our main menu with these buttons that we've discussed up the top. We're going to go into this area here, and then along this left-hand side, we have these options. In here, we will have our waypoints area, which also contains routes. So it's a little bit of a misnomer, but waypoints and routes all live together. And here is our routes area here. So you can see this is the one that we just made. And, you know, these are the waypoint numbers start to finish. It's from 1 to 7. You can go crazy and name waypoints all around your map if you like, but these are just auto-generated. The 6 legs and the distance is 4.99 nautical miles. I think we can safely say that's 5 nautical miles. So if you already have it saved, you can pull them up a lot easier by using this screen than searching around a map full of waypoints and trying to find that waypoint that's part of the route that you want to take. In this particular case, I would look for the one that I know is taking me where I want to go because I've done it before and I saved it. So in this case, I just go here and then I can simply just hit start. I want to go forward. I'm not going to start the autopilot right now, but there we go. So we've initiated that exactly like it was before, but we've just chose to go there a separate way. And if you really do take full advantage of having routes and waypoints all over your map, you may find it easier to navigate through that list system than actually, you know, the graphical system. Which is one way to do it. Now, using that same menu system, we're actually going to create a new one. So like before, we're going to pull out our menu here. We're going to go to the navigation button, and we're actually going to cancel this route because I don't want to do it right now. I want to make sure I'm out of that. We're going to go back to our main menu. We're going to go back into the waypoints area. We're going to go to the routes area, and we're going to hit new. So new, create on chart. And we can create a brand new one right on the chart. So this time we're actually going to utilize a feature called Easy Routing. This comes out of the box enabled with a CMAP card. Navionics is absolutely capable of doing something very similar. However, that will require you to remove your chart chip from your boat, take it to a computer, register it with Navionics, and then you'll have to bring it back to the boat. There's plenty of literature online about how to do this, but I would recommend that you reach out to Navionics and consult Navionics literature on how to get that done. But it is definitely possible. So right here we are, just like last time. So for an easy route to work, you need to have 2 waypoints, and they're going to cut through the land first, but that's okay. But we want to start right here. And we want to finish right here. You can see the little arrows. It's actually a route that's going to travel in that direction. Now that we have 2 waypoints selected, we can pull this out, and this new option is available called Easy Routing. And we're going to say entire route. And it will load and think about the route for a little while. Generally, the bigger the route, the more thinking about it has to do. And when it's done, it will present you with the route. In this case, it's coming up right now saying it's calculated, but it may contain some unsafe segments, in which case, as a human being and an operator of a vessel, we are responsible for reviewing this computer-generated route and making sure it's safe. So let's just go ahead and do that right now. So here's the beginning of our route. You'll see here, cutting it pretty close, so we could move this guy a little bit if we wanted to. So we'll go ahead and select that waypoint, and then we're going to move it. So we're going to move this over to here, finish moving. So that's that one moved. That looks a little bit better. And I really don't like this right here, so I'm going to hit that. I'm going to move that one. I'm going to put it over to here. I'm going to hit finish moving. And that's that one there. And I'm much happier with that. But most of the legwork was done as far as setting it all around the corner. Obviously, longer routes will take you a little bit longer to do that. And that is that. Just like before, we can name the route. We can save the route. So we'll go ahead and we can name it. I deleted the initial one I made, and this is the second one. I'm going to call it the same thing. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit save, and here it is here in the system, just like before. So I hope that video was helpful and you guys gained something from that. If you have any questions regarding how to navigate with your Simrad displays, please don't hesitate to reach out to Freedom Marine, where you purchase your Axopar, and we'll be happy to help.